Well, thanks for inviting me. Nancy, every year it's a pleasure coming here. Melbourne Beach is doing well. We're making a transition from the old guard that kept us in the newspaper so often, and you haven't read anything bad about us lately, and we like it that way. We have a new generation coming into our town commission, much younger generation, and they're continuing several of the efforts that are important to them, including our environmental initiatives. We're trying to become more pedestrian and bike friendly. We've made significant upgrades to our parks, and we've had some more family events. But with all those tangible accomplishments, our biggest accomplishment is intangible. We have a new attitude on the town commission. Over the past few years, I'm happy to say that we've largely achieved my biggest goal when I became mayor. We have a commission that respects one another and that works together, largely free of personal vendettas and attacks. I believe this will encourage other good folks to step forward when the commission has its openings, and I'm very proud of that and thankful for it. We've also become more cooperative with our business community. They're independent business owners. We proudly have no Wawas. Hopefully we will never have a Wawa. We value our independent businessmen because they're the people who provide needed services to our town, but more importantly than that, they provide support to our community activities. They help with our scouts, they help with the youth leagues, they help with our town events. We can always rely on them to support us both financially and emotionally. As an example of our new cooperative effort, we've approved an expansion at the Black Dog Bait and Tackle, which would have been very controversial in the past. They made some significant concessions so that they can work with the residents to lessen their impact on them, and we really appreciate that new effort. Last year I talked about our efforts to be proactive in the areas of maintenance and replacement of large value items. We've continued our 10-year look ahead and funded those items annually so that they're amortized over a longer period of time. Through those initiatives, we were able, as I said, to refurbish the playground, refurbish the Reichman House. We obtained a new and larger replacement generator, which will power the whole town hall when Bart loses power to us. And we're working with Bart to convert all our streetlights to LEDs. If you're looking into that, I encourage you to look at the AMA's recommendations on power levels because there are significant differences between the various levels. We've also have a new emphasis on proactive code enforcement, which I believe is an issue of fairness. It shouldn't depend on who your neighbor is on whether you're held to the standards that are in the code. We found that when all people are held to the same standards, they understand them even though they may not like them. They're much more willing to work with us on code violations. We've completed a major revision to our LEC, our Land Development Code again, and we'll be looking at approving that in the next 2 months. The major thing we've done is to deal with stormwater detention requirements and maximum lot coverage, so we'll have more percolation areas. We also are working on an ordinance for short-term vacation rentals, which is a big issue for our residents, one they're very concerned about, and I was happy to see that the most recent legislation at the state level died in committee. It would significantly have impacted our ability to enforce any regulations on them, and we will regulate them to the extent allowed by state law. We've also have our continuing plastics and EPS reductions in work. We prohibit them at town events and in-town facilities to the extent allowed by state law. And I want to give a big shout out to Governor DeSantis, who used his first veto to veto the recently passed legislation that would have eliminated our ability to regulate plastic straws on a municipal level. Since 2008, I've been working on regulating shark fishing. I never thought it would happen, but land-based shark fishing will have new regulations effective July 1st, which will reduce the impacts between swimmers and surfers and shark fishermen by banning chumming from shore. And it'll also increase the survivability of the species of special concerns through new tackle regulations and handling requirements. So it's a win-win, supported by the shark fishermen. As I said, I never thought we would get that through the state through the state level, but the FWC Commission changed over and had a new attitude, and we're really happy for that. The challenges facing the town are stormwater. We have an aging system that's becoming very maintenance intensive, and it's using up our finances. Traffic flow is how to ensure efficient and safe travel through the town without diverting traffic to our residential streets when pedestrians want to cross over and whatnot. So that's an issue. ADA compliance, I support the goals of the ADA, but in our efforts to ensure equal access to all, we've essentially had to reduce access to everybody to equalize them. We and many other towns have had to remove all of our documentation from the web pages, and that's inhibited good government. And beach management, that's the other one. So I'm hearing the dinger go off.
No, you go ahead, because you actually got some good stuff. Go ahead.
Okay. Damn, I got a beard. We're the first free parking south of 192. Indy Atlantic believes they ought to charge every mainlander who comes over so they can milk them to the greatest extent possible. So
Dave, I should have cut him off.
So they come to Melbourne Beach, and we do have beach accesses at the end of every street, but they're all very limited parking, and we do allow alcohol on our beaches, which Indy Atlantic does not allow either. And that's increased some of the issues we've had between residents and people parking on lawns and things like that. So that's one of the areas we're going to have to deal with. And now my time's up.
All right.